Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. Today, I am doing a video response for Jake, Legends Never Die. He is celebrating 755 subscribers to his channel. Now, you may be wondering what's so special about 755. Well, Jake is a big Atlanta Braves fan, and 755, of course, represents the number of career home runs of Hank Aaron. So what Jake wants us to do is talk about our collection, what we collect. Jake, I think this is a great idea. As our channels grow and we get new subscribers to our channel, they may have subscribed based on a particular video, but may not go back and view some of our older videos to really get a sense of the different areas that we collect. So, what do I collect? Obviously, Wade Boggs cards and memorabilia. Now, I have a few Wade Boggs cards I'm going to show off. In terms of my memorabilia that you see behind me, I actually recently did an updated tour of the Boggs room, so I will put a link to that video at the end of this video, as well as in the description of this video. So beyond Wade Boggs, what I also collect are vintage baseball cards of Hall of Famers, primarily graded copies and primarily PSA slabbed copies of vintage Hall of Famers. My goal, my long-term goal, is to get as many cards featuring a Hall of Famer from 1948 to 1980. Now, I do include a couple other players that are not Hall of Famers that I feel should be in the Hall. Three of them are Pete Rose, Thurman Munson, and Dwight Evans, of course, from the Red Sox. So beyond, those are my two main areas, Wade Boggs and vintage Hall of Famers. But I also collect some of the more modern cards, the Topps short print image variations of Hall of Famers, a very inexpensive way to collect some pretty cool images of Hall of Famers on more modern cards. And finally, it's not something that I've brought up much on my videos, but over the years, I've collected a good number of complete sets. They're mainly just the base sets, some of the updated traded sets, and so on. But before I start showing off some of the different cards in my collection, some of the highlights, I want to talk about maybe more specific numbers, particularly for my Wade Boggs collection. So in terms of my Wade Boggs cards, I currently have about 10,500 total Wade Boggs cards. Now, these also include about 900 art cards. So these art cards are unlicensed. They're done by artists. They're unlicensed. A lot of them are drawings. Some of them are more manufactured that feature, say, Wade Boggs in a 1959 Topps design, things like that. So that 10,500 does include about 900 or so art cards. But in terms of how many different number of Wade Boggs cards I have licensed, so not including those art cards, I currently stand at 5,405 different Wade Boggs cards. Now, breaking that down a little bit more, I have 3,415 serial numbered cards. I also have 1,254 cards featuring a piece of game used memorabilia, whether it be a bat, a jersey patch, glove, cap, you name it. I have 740 certified autograph cards, so pack pulled autograph cards. Now, the autograph and the game used, some of those numbers overlap because there could be a card that has a jersey and an auto. But again, for the game used, it's about $12.50, and autographs approaching $750. I also have, not including the art cards, which most of them are one-of-ones. In terms of like pack pulled or licensed cards, I have 174 one-of-ones, and I have a few of them to show off as well. In terms of my graded vintage Hall of Fame collection, I currently have 300, right on the dot, 300 vintage Hall of Fame cards. And according to the PSA registry for the Hall of Famers from 1948 to 1980, there are a total of 1,922 cards, again, including Pete Rose, Thurman Munson, and Dwight Evans. And so I'm about almost at 16%, and I've really only started building my vintage collection since 2020. In terms of the short print, the top short print image variation cards, I have 171 of them. Still a long ways to go. I think the list is approaching around 600, maybe a little over 600 total short print image variations. For complete sets, I have 135 complete sets. Now this includes the base set and some of the updated or traded sets, things like that. I didn't count some of the small little sets that you'd find maybe from the 80s or 90s, the Kmart sets and things like that. I didn't include that in the total. I have a pretty good run of Topps complete sets from 1980 through 2022. I'm only missing 9 years, 1994, 97, 99, 2001 through 2004, 2018, and 2019. Now, most of these sets, I basically just buy the set, whether it's a factory set or a hand collated set. The only set that I am currently or have built, but currently building right now, is the 1978 Topps set. So I'm about 76% of the way there. So again, with that, let's start looking at some cards, some Wade Boggs cards, some vintage cards, and some Topps short print image variations. All right, going to start off with some Wade Boggs cards. Now, the first one I have to show off, being a super collector, we are a unique breed, a crazy breed. Some might say that just don't get collecting so many cards of a particular player. The first card I want to show off is probably one of my favorite Wade Boggs cards, and it's his 1984 Topps. Just his base card. There's just something about the design of 84 Topps, the image of him, and to show how crazy I am, I currently have 1,021 copies of his 1984 Topps card. So I went on a buying spree and I reached 100, then I reached 250, then 500, and I said, well, hey, let's just go for it. And within, I think it took me maybe 6 or 9 months of buying lots on eBay, I managed to get to 1,000, and then since then I've added a few more. So obviously really love that 84 Topps card. All right, next I have I just pulled a group. It's hard to decide which cards to show off of Wade Boggs, given the number that I have, but I picked some that have some really cool patch or autographs that I really love the design, and the patches are amazing. The first one here is from 2004 Ultimate Collection, and it is the Super Patch. Just a nice large patch there of his Red Sox away uniform, and serial numbered out of 20. Next is his 2005 Sweet Spot Classic patch. Now these are not super rare. There's the serial number to 25, but these are hard to come by. And again, another huge patch piece of his Red Sox away jersey. I'm not sure if that's part of the B and O, because of course the away jersey I think had Boston on the front. So, but just I don't know, just an awesome looking patch card. Next is 2005 Upper Deck Hall of Fame Hallworthy patch auto, and this is out of 5. This is the gold version. Just love that patch piece there of a Red Sox home jersey, and it is a sticker autograph, but just love the design, the gold background there. So that's again one of my highlights. And the next one is from 2008 Ultimate Collection. Check out that huge patch piece. Serial number to 5. Just gorgeous. And also from 2008 Ultimate Collection. This is a dual patch autograph, on card autograph. Serial number to 5. And then Topps Museum Collection has come out with some great looking Boggs cards, and I have a couple of the years, but the ones I pulled out are from 2017, and these are the framed autographs. The first one is the black frame, and you can see that the silver there has some shine to it. I just absolutely love this design. This is from 2017 Museum Collection. And this version here is out of 5. That's the black frame. Then we have the gold frame, and this is with a gold ink. This is out of 10. And then I have the silver out of 15. The only one I'm missing is the wood out of 1. And I think one of the members of the Boggs Trust has the wood 1 of 1. So those are some of the autograph patch cards that I have of Wade Boggs in my collection. And I pulled some 1 of 1s to show off as well. Not necessarily, maybe not my favorite, but just interesting ones that I just thought I'd pull and show off. First one's from 2005 Absolute Memorabilia, Absolutely Ink. And this has a jersey piece, a bat piece, and a piece of his batting glove with a sticker autograph. Nice shine to that. And as you can see on the back there, it's a 1 of 1. And also from 2005 Absolute Memorabilia, we have Absolute Heroes. And this one has a piece of his cap, a patch piece from the Yankees, and a bat piece, sticker autograph. And this one is serial numbered, again, out of 1 of 1. And the next one is from 2016 Topps Triple Threads. This is the red parallel, as you can see down at the bottom there, 1 of 1. Just love this image of Boggs and his follow through there. And of course the red goes with his uniform and stuff, so I really like this Triple Threads. Here's the back of it. And let's see, I also pulled out, here's an interesting one. It's from Leaf Inscriptions from 2012. And there are various, I think there's 5 different inscriptions of Boggs. This one has his autograph, 5-time AL batting champ. This is the purple version. There are, I think, a gold, a silver, a bronze version, I think, different serial numbered, but the purple are out of 1, or 1 of 1. So that is you can see the purple there. I just thought that was a interesting one to show off. And 2 more here. This is from 1999 Topps Gold Label. This is the Class 1 Red 1 of 1. And you can see on the back there, it's 1 of 1. Has some nice shine to it. And finally, one that you do not see very often for any player. It's from 2000 Flair Ultra Fresh Ink, but it is the gold. And it's that gold foil there, and he wrote on top of the foil, and then it was sort of embossed and hand numbered 1 of 1. So there's some of my 1 of 1s in my Wade Boggs collection. All right, on to my vintage cards. Let's move these off to the side here and talk about my vintage cards. Now, when I first started collecting vintage, I wanted to get sort of like collector grade, which is if it's a card in the 70s, it's a 7, at least a 7. From the 60s, it would be in a 6, 50s in a 5, and so on. But in terms of my budget, I started going down a grade and sometimes 2. And so I wanted to show off a couple of my vintage cards that I dropped down, 2 grades. Still found a nice copy. I'm all for well-centered cards. I don't mind, corners being, dinged or whatever. But good registration and pretty well centered. That's sort of my focus. And so I have a couple cards here from the 60s that are in 4s, and a couple from the 70s that are in 5s that I've managed to find that to me are great examples of those cards, yet didn't cost as much as, say, getting a collector grade. And the first one here is a 1960 Topps Frank Robinson. Again, just love the centering, fairly good registration. So here's one. The next one is a 1961 Topps Yogi Berra in a PSA 4. Again, check out that centering. I mean, it's, it may not be perfect, but it's darn close. And just this type of card, sometimes a 4, you'll get maybe a hairline crease or something, but typically it's not prominent and you have to really look for it. So really happy to be able to pick up some of these in a 4 and still get some nice looking cards, but for not as much money as, say, this 61 Bear would be in a PSA 6. Next example here, I really lucked out in getting this 1969 Topps Tom Seaver in a PSA 4. Just a great example there again. And what's nice about the white borders is there is some corner issues, but if you just look at the card, I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell from a distance here. So there's the back. So you don't have to spend a whole lot of money. You don't have to get super high grades to get nice looking vintage cards. And a couple more here. Pick this one up at, I want to say it was Atlantic City this year, I think. Yeah, the 1967 Topps Roberto Clemente in a 4.5. Again, the centering on it, you can see some edge issues in some corners, a little dinged, but the image, the card image itself and the centering is just wonderful. Great example there, and it's a mid-grade, so you're not paying the high sticker price of, say, a 5, a 6, or a 7. And there's the back. Nice back as well. And here's an example, again, picked up at the National. 1970 Thurman Munson rookie card. And that's in a 5. So, again, 2 grades below the quote-unquote collector grade. And, man, other than maybe a little issues with the corner, some minor corner issues, that thing is nice and sharp. There's the back. And the last one is the 1971 Topps Tom Seaver. Now, these 71s, as I'm sure you're aware, have a lot of issues, not only with centering, but that black border often chips. And was able to find this Tom Seaver in a 5 that has fairly nice centering and not too many issues there with any chipping on that black border. There's the back. Again, nicely centered as well. So, cards that just have these minor, small little imperfections that technically get a lower grade, but for me, fit right into my budget and my desire for the eye appeal for some of these vintage cards. All right, the last cards I want to show off are some of the Topps short print image variations of Hall of Famers. Again, if you're looking to get into vintage players, but don't know a lot maybe about the vintage cards, you could still collect some modern cards of Hall of Famers, maybe learn about them, the history of them if you're not familiar with them, and then maybe that could be a stepping stone into collecting vintage cards like these. And so just a couple examples here. Here's one of Christy Mathewson, Walter Johnson. And a lot of these, I'm not sure where Topps got the photos from, but for a lot of these, they're either candid shots or like, here he's, warming up before the game. These images may not have been featured in any standard issue Topps card or any other cards. They may have been taken from just regular photographs, and in this case, colorized in the case of Walter Johnson. But here's one of Tris Speaker. So I just picked some of the all-time great players here. Here's one of Babe Ruth. Roberto Clemente. Again, just great images. I have to give Topps credit that they picked some wonderful images. Here's one of Hank Aaron, Ted Williams, Ty Cobb, Lou Gehrig, Willie Mays, Stan Musial, another Ted Williams, and finally Jackie Robinson. So there you go, just a little snapshot, a little example of some of the cards that I have in my collection. So Jake, thanks again for doing this contest. Congratulations on 755 subscribers. I'm sure by now you have surpassed that total. If you're not familiar with Jake's channel, I will put a link to his channel in the description of this video. Definitely go check his channel out. Amazing collection. Now, he is one that is completely opposite of me in terms of his vintage collection. He's all ungraded. I'm not sure if he owns a single graded vintage card, but his vintage collection is amazing. His autographed baseball card collection is autographed baseballs of Hall of Famers is amazing. and other aspects of his collection, definitely go check his channel out and his videos. So with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.